Welcome back. In the last video, we calculated the size in megabytes of our saved EffNetB2 feature extractor model, and we learned that this is an important factor to take into account because if we're deploying our model somewhere, it can't be too large that it doesn't actually fit or run on our target device. So that's why we're storing that piece of information. And then we're also going to collect EffNetB2 feature extractor stats. This is where we're going to create a dictionary where we're going to collate kind of everything we've got so far, such as the test loss and the test accuracy and the model size. That way we can compare our models later on. So we'll get one more thing, and that's the number of parameters. So count number of parameters in EffNetB2. Why do we do this? Well, number of parameters also not only contributes to model size, but generally the more parameters a model has, the more calculations it has to do as a piece of data flows through it. And so if a model has a number of parameters that is extremely large, well, we can expect, or we can kind of deduce the fact that it's going to maybe take a little bit longer to compute because it has to use all of those parameters. Not always the case, but just something interesting to take note of. So EffNetB2 total params. Let's get a sum of torch.numL. NumL stands for number of elements of the parameter for param in EffNetB2.parameters. So a little list comprehension there, but this should count the number of parameters in our EffNetB2 model. Params, there we go. Wonderful. So we have 7,705,221. And of course, if you wanted to look up the documentation for this, torch numL. There we go. Returns the total number of elements in the input tensor. I'm just going to get rid of a few of these things here. And then we're back and get rid of that tab. And so if we wanted to inspect this, all we're doing is we're just looping through all of the parameters here and calculating. Oh, let's get a list. Will that work? Okay, there's going to be a fair bit going on there. Yeah. See, we're iterating through all of this and we're just calculating the number of individual parameters in here. And as we see, there's quite a bit. In fact, there's 7.7 million of them. So let's get rid of that. Now, let's save everything to a dictionary. Create a dictionary with EffNetB2 statistics. Because we're only running 2 modeling experiments, we can kind of track these things manually. If we had multiple modeling experiments, we'd probably set up something like TensorBoard or even weights and biases or another experiment tracking service. So EffNetB2 results, test loss, and then I'm going to put in here -1. Where does this come from? This is just our dictionary that we saved while training our model. There we go. Train loss per epoch, training accuracy per epoch, test loss per epoch, test accuracy per epoch, and that once again just comes from up here. It's returned from our engine.train function. We'll just get rid of that. And then we'll do the same here for the test accuracy, because this is what we want to compare our models across. We want to compare the test loss, we want to compare the test accuracy, we want to compare, what else do we want to compare? The number of parameters, EffNetB2 total params, and of course we want the model size. So model size in megabytes, and my bad, I didn't put a key up here for this dictionary. So number of parameters, EffNetB2 total params, and then the model size is going to be pre-trained EffNetB2 model size. And let's have a look. Did this all work? Do we have all of our stats together? Colab's telling me I got an error. I don't have an error. Or maybe I do. Well, let's see. Okay, beautiful. There we go. So we can use these later on to compare our 2 models. So we've done what we need to do for EffNetB2, but now we have another experiment to run. So if we come back up here, we wrote down our experiments. We've finished this one, EffNetB2 feature extractor. Now my challenge to you is to repeat the exact same steps we've done, but for a VIT feature extractor. So you can go through these steps here. Create a function to create a VIT feature extractor. So basically the exact same steps here, except sub out EffNetB2 for a VIT feature extractor. And by the end, you should finish with a VIT feature extractor stats dictionary. And if you want a hint at how to create one, we did this in PyTorch paper replicating. Right down here, we scroll. Where do we go? Putting it all together. Here we go. This is where we created a VIT feature extractor. So this is what we're up to. We go down to this one. This is 4.0 is creating a VIT feature extractor. So we're up to our second modeling experiment, repeating the steps for EffNetB2, but this time with a VIT feature extractor. See here for ideas. So that's my challenge to you. Oh, excuse me. I want this one here. Give that a shot, and over the next few videos, we'll do it together. And then we can compare our EffNetB2 to our VIT feature extractor. I'll see you in the next video.